Morning folks, it's Tuesday morning, just sitting in the car getting it ready to go back up to SOGO. It's got 100% charge overnight, which gives me a range of 173 miles. SOGO is 122 miles from here, so in theory it should make it no bother. So yeah, just a quick intro before we set off at about 10:30, hoping the M25 is going to be good to me today. Thoughts on the way. Right, we are on our way. I've got the aircon set to a nice 20, got CarPlay on, radio 2, I've got 100% battery of 171 miles to go and 117 miles to my destination, so in theory it should make it easy, but you never know, because I've got to go around the M25 and that can always be a complete disaster, nightmare. But yeah, I'm gonna sit back, relax, potter up there at about somewhere between 65 and 70, and I'll give you an update in a bit. But yeah, feeling a bit miserable this morning. Got quite used to having this little car in my life, and yeah, might have to lease one. Here comes a Tesla up the outside, saving dolphins with me this morning. Right, so I've just discovered something really odd. So I've been flicking through the screens while I'm sitting here driving along, looking at information about what energy the car's using. So on the motorway they're not particularly efficient, we know that, because it's constant stress on the electric motor. But what I did was reset the trip computer, and all of a sudden my estimated range jumped up by nearly 30 miles, giving me 175 miles of range now, which is more than I had when I left home, and I've done nearly 30 miles.
Continue onto the A2.
So clearly that little range meter is, much like other cars, a bit of a guess, and it's obviously a guess based on what driving you've done up until now. So I was starting to have a little bit of a I'm not sure if I'm going to need to charge or not. But having done that, reset it, and now have still 175 miles of range, I'm going to get there no bother. So perhaps with that in mind, perhaps this car really does have a 200 mile range, and it's just the fact that I haven't reset the trip computer, so it's kind of guessed my mileage based on the driving that I've done up until now in it. So yeah, that's interesting. So anyway, that was just a short, just a little update after finding that. I say I've got 92 miles left to go and 174 miles of range. Still got radio 2 on, CarPlay's still working brilliantly, 19 degrees. I'm very, very comfortable. It is a really comfortable car, this. Right everyone, so I just stopped quickly just to grab some polos, because it's a journey and I just fancied some. But I stopped at it's a services on the A2, Cobham services. Okay. Now whenever you drive past that, normally it's packed full of lorries and it's dead busy, and it's one of the services on the A2 that's sort of generally quite a big one. So I guess, equivalent to kind of Clackett Lane on the M25. So, one that's kind of like a destination services, I guess, for lorry drivers and things like that. So you would expect that because it's that kind of services, it'd have an electric car charger. So I asked when I was in there, and apparently they haven't got one, which I find quite surprising. Now, not that I'm desperate for charge or anything, so I've still got 166 miles left since the last update. But given that it's on a major road heading towards the coast, heading towards Dover, the port, you would think that a services that's been there for that long would have an electric car charger or two by now. So that's a bit shit. So this is one of the things that I've kind of noticed while having the Zoe. The infrastructure for public use isn't really there at the moment. I think it's probably better in London and places like that, but down here in the coast, or down here in Kent, it's still leaves a lot to be desired. So the girl behind the counter said, oh, there is one up at Blue Water, which we know about because that was the one that I tried to find on the way back when I took the Zoe back originally. But yeah, you'd think as a motorway services, they'd have one. So I think there's still some work to do on the infrastructure for electric cars before we all jump into them. There's a rather nice Tesla just coming up on the left. But yeah, I mean, is it a big deal? No, not really, because I left home with a full charge this morning. But, let's say I was on my last 10 miles. I would have expected to find a charger there, and there wasn't one. So, yeah, Boris, I think you've got a bit of work to do infrastructure-wise, because you would expect to go to pretty much any garage, I think, over the next 2 or 3 years and find at least one electric car charger. Yeah, work to do. Anyway. Right, folks, so a little update for you. I just stopped quickly at South Mims services because, as usual, the M25 is a complete car park, which means you need a wee after 2 hours on the road sitting in traffic. So I stopped in there. Didn't actually need to. Thanks for that, twat. Didn't actually need to stop. I've still got 59% battery, 130 miles of range, and about 36 miles left on my journey, which is pretty good going, to be honest. So, just as well, I didn't need to, because it looks like 2 of the 4 chargers at South Mims are out of service. It's a guy with a brand new iPace struggling to charge it by the look of it, so he'll be thrilled. And also, there were 2 non-EVs parked in the EV charging bays.
Turn left onto Big Lost.
So that's going to become a common menace, I think. It's people who don't have EVs using the EV bays as parking spaces because they're normally at the front of places. So if you have a petrol car and you park in an EV space, you're an arse. Anyway, so I'm going to get back on the road now. So I've got 36 miles to go, 129 miles of range. So it's looking good that I'll have about 90 miles left when I drop the car back. So I need to concentrate. I will talk to you soon. Right, folks, getting very near to SOGO now. Just thought I'd give you a quick update. I've done 102 miles of the journey, and we have 47% of the battery left in the car with an estimated range of 101 miles. So, this is the first kind of time that we've done an actual mathematical test of the range since I've had the car. But judging by that, this is a genuine 200-mile EV. Staggering, really. And as usual, sailed up here. No real stress other than the M25 being its usual nightmarish self, but very little drama. Comfortable, quiet, quick, and with bundles of range to spare. So there you go. So that's just a little update for you. I will update you again when we arrive at SOGO, but it's looking pretty good for this trip. Good car, very good car. Here's another little thought for you. I've said a few times while I've had the Zoe that it's not a car that I would buy personally. Okay, I think I probably need to explain why. Okay, there is nothing wrong with this car whatsoever. It's just not me. And I think a lot of you watching this who have got any interest in cars whatsoever will appreciate that, because not every car fits everybody. Okay, I've had minis, I've had hot hatches, I've had 4x4s, and they've all been a bit more prestigious, should we say, or a bit different. And the Zoe's it's a lovely car, but it's just not me. Okay, and if you're paying for a car every month, you need to kind of like it and love it and want to look back at it. And I don't know that I would do that with Zoe. Okay, there are a couple of reasons. I mean, while it's lovely and comfortable to drive, it's wafting along the motorway and you wouldn't even... It's like riding a cloud. It's so comfortable. It's just a little bit wobbly for me, and it's a little bit imprecise. So, here's a thought. Renault, if you're watching, You could sell millions of these. What we need for people like me is a hot hatch version, an RS version. Okay, so we need it with load suspension, big wheels, flared wheel arches, spoilers, something that looks like it's done a backwards somersault through Halfords. And I bet you would sell thousands of them, because this is a brilliant little car. It just needs to be a little bit more exciting. Make a hot hatch one, even if you sacrifice 50 miles of range. People would lap it up. If you could tear around in this little thing, round corners, without it wobbling around, blasting B roads, it'd be brilliant. It's such a good little car. It's really quick. That's one thing about this little car. It's really quick. Surprisingly quick. And obviously that's down to the electric motors and the torque of the electric motors. But fabulous car. If only it was a little bit more exciting. Honestly, if there was a hot hatch one of these with the big wheels and flared wheel arches and spoilers in a funky colour, I'd put my money down. I've really enjoyed this car for the last 3 weeks, but it's just not me. If they make one that was me, I'd be all over it. So there you go, Renault, there's your challenge. Make a hot hatch one for people like me. So that's it. We are back at SOGO at the Cranfield Technology Park. Got 90 miles left, 41% of the battery. So let's do the maths quickly. 117 miles plus 90 miles. That's a 207 mile range potentially from the Zoe. So that's pretty bloody good. And that drive has been stress free. No drama, didn't need to charge. Got here with plenty of battery. Could probably just about, well, no, I wouldn't make it back, but I might have to stop for a quick top up, so that's no big deal, is it? So yeah, it's the end of my Zoe adventure, and it's been really good fun. So thanks very much to the guys at SOGO for the rent of the car. Yeah, I might have to start looking for EVs now. Thanks to you lot as well for watching the videos. If you like this sort of stuff, click subscribe, hit the bell icon to notify. I'll get notified when there's new stuff coming out. And yeah, you're going to buy an EV? I think I am. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I've now got to get back to Kent on the train, like a train wanker. Brilliant.